Hello, Glenbard 87. How is everyone tonight? I want to thank you for joining us for our annual college night. My name is Erica Willis. I am a Dean of Attendance at Glenbard North High School, and we have some wonderful people here to speak with you. We have Miss Ann Hennigan from North Central College here. We have Jennifer Pacheco. She's a counselor at Glenbard South. And we have Michael White, a dean from Glenbard South, who also will be coming in to talk to us a little bit about financial aid and how you can get more information from the reps that come into our school. So I'm going to share my screen right now so we can get started. We're excited that you're here, and we're excited that you're taking time to find out more about college. Okay, and I'm going to share my screen. Okay, here we go. Now, this is a little bit how our agenda is going to be tonight. We have the welcome, and what's awesome about tonight is we have our English version and then we have our Spanish version. So we want to make sure that everyone is able to get the information that we want to share. And so after we discuss our welcome, then we're going to have our Naviance presentation from 7:10 to 7:20. Then we're going to have a little information about financial aid from 7:20 to 7:40. And then our North Central College information from 7:20 to 7:40. Now let's talk a little bit about the times that we have been in this past year and a half, almost going on 2 years. When you think about school. And it's all about right now, self-care and community care. We want to make sure that we are all taking time for ourselves to keep ourselves healthy mentally and physically and emotionally. This time has been rough for a lot of us, but we have the support from one another to keep going and to stay strong. And we want to just stress that helping others is important. Right now, when some of our students come into the school and when they see us, they're happy. When we see them, we're elated. But we want to make sure that students know that there is a place that they can come. There is a place where someone is waiting to be that shoulder for them to cry on, that rock for them to stand on, and that encouragement when they feel down. In addition, not only for the students, but for the adults as well. So the adults have to stay healthy so the kids can stay healthy. And then we want to talk a little bit about mindfulness. So you say, Erica, what is mindfulness? And when you think about it, mindfulness is that basic human ability to be fully present and aware of what's going on, aware of where we are, what we are doing, and where we are going, okay? And not really being overreactive, but understanding the state that we are in and making the necessary adjustments to make sure that everyone is successful and they're moving forward in a productive manner. Another thing, when you're thinking about self-care and community care, it's all about forgiving yourself often. You know, we're all human and we all make mistakes. We all make decisions we're not proud of. And sometimes we sit back and say, you know what? Oh, I forgot to send Julie a card to say thank you. But you know, you don't have to beat yourself up for not sending her a card. Just go down and say, hi, Julie, thank you for everything you've done today. Sometimes thank you is just enough. Everything doesn't have to be grandiose. And so we have to forgive ourselves for wanting to do too much sometimes for people, but not understanding that a little goes a long way. So self-care and community at our 4 schools, Glenbard East, North, South, and West, we have our various help hotlines where our students could take advantage of. We have our counselors, our social workers, and our psychologists at school as well. And so if anything is going on and students need anything, we are here as Glenbard 87 to ensure that they have what they need to be successful. So please don't hesitate to reach out. Sorry. Now, another great program that we have at our 4 schools, it's all about mentorship. And you say, what is a mentor? To us here at Glenbard, when we think of a mentor, we think of experienced and trusted adults in the building. Our students a lot of times may need that direction, and parents, you're doing a great job. But when they're with us for 7-8 hours a day and they can't get to you, we're here for them. And so with our mentorship programs throughout our different schools, what we do is we encourage students to make the right decisions. We encourage students in making their next steps for success. So we sit down, we help them kind of navigate those various obstacles in life or with their classes, and try to show them how to be productive and progressive in that. Now, who is or can be your mentor? Any trusted adult in the building. So I want students to know that this is why we are here. We are here for you. Now, how do you get one? In each of our buildings, we have equity coordinators and liaisons who are here to help you. At East, we have Mr. Holbert, who is the PE department chair, and we have Ms. Welton, who's the dean of students there at East. At North, we have Ms. Teague, who is a social worker. We have Mr. Giardini, who is a special education teacher, and we have myself, Mrs. Willis, who is the dean of students. At South, we have Ms. Pacheco, who is a counselor, and we have Mr. White, who is the dean of students at South. Next and last, we have at West, Ms. Ochoa, who is a social worker and counselor, and Ms. Sanders, Ms. Sue Sanders, who's been with us for years. She's retired, but she loves us so much that she's still here. So these are the people that you can reach out to get more information about a mentoring for your student, or if your student could just email us, and we're here. Academic resources. So we have a lot of resources to make sure that we are taking care of our kids mentally and educationally. You know, sometimes it gets difficult at school, especially this year, because we moved from virtual to in-person, full day in person. And so our students still have some challenges, but we have a lot of academic resources here for our students. We have academic resources for English, for our EL supports, math, science, writing. We have AP cafes throughout our different schools. We have teacher office hours, and we have our awesome SAT prep program. Now, SAT prep is for our juniors because this year they have to take the SAT. So what our district does is we offer a free 10-week SAT prep course for all 11th graders. And in this course will help our students perform better on the test and to actually get a higher average. Now, taking the SAT is a graduation requirement. And so scoring well affords our students post-secondary opportunities after high school, including scholarships and admissions to competitive colleges and universities. On Mondays, we will have our sessions for Glenbard North. On Tuesdays, we will have our sessions for Glenbard South. On Wednesdays, we will have our sessions for Glenbard East, and Thursdays, our sessions for Glenbard West. Our session times are below. If you look, it says for in-person. So we have spaces for our in-person students, and then we have spaces virtually. So in-person will be from 2:45 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. on the designated day for the school. And virtually, it will be 5:45 to 8:30 p.m. on the designated day for the school. So parents, I'd like you to get your cell phones out. Students, get your phones out, because you have to scan, if you scan your student's school, to register your student now. So I'm going to leave the screen up here for about 30 seconds so you can scan and get the information that you need to get your student registered. Our last day to register is Wednesday, December 8th. So parents, Go on and register your student right now, your 11th grader. This is a great opportunity, and our students have really gotten a lot of information on great test taking skills and how to think during the SAT. I'll give you about 10 more seconds. I really wanted to say 17 because I could feel time, and give you that opportunity to register your students. It'll be a great opportunity. Students, don't get mad, but it'll help you with your scoring getting into college. Okay, and I'll pull this screen up later during the Q&A time. All right, so here's a few prep reminders. Registration closes on Wednesday, December 8th. That's this Wednesday, so make sure that you complete that form. On January 4th, 2022, there will be a diagnostic test given. We would like all students who have registered to come in and take that test, or meet virtually or in person. And then our classes begin on January 24th, 2022, January 24th. And once you register, you will get more information. I want to say thank you, parents, so much, and students, for taking the time out to hear a little bit more about the resources that we offer here at Glenbard 87. And I'm going to pass the mic to Jenny Pacheco from Glenbard South to talk to you about Naviance.
All right, thanks, Ms. Willis, and good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I am a school counselor at Glenbard South, and I'm so happy to be here to show you a little bit of a tool we have. It's amazing. It's called Naviance. So I will just give me 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I figure it's easier for me to show you rather than to talk about it. I'd like to be able to show you. So we are fortunate enough. Ms. Willis, can we see? You can see my screen?
Yes, I can see it. Yeah.
Wonderful. Great. We're fortunate enough in our district to be able to have Naviance. And I want to start by actually showing parents and students how to log on. I know that students are given a lot of websites, you know, there's Schoology, Notability, there's all these acronyms and everything. So the easiest way to get on is to just Google Naviance, and it's the first link that's going to pop up. It's Naviance College and Career Readiness Technology Solution. So when you click on here, I think it's important to know, you'll see for students and parents, it's an account login. So you would go ahead and click there. We'll go ahead and we can put in Glenbard South, or you can put in your zip code. The school will pop up and you will sign in as a student. So students, you're going to sign in with your Glenbard information. Parents, I have been asked this question a couple of times recently, and they want to have their login. It's the same for the parents and the students. So we encourage parents to jump into Naviance to explore this as well. They would just use their student's account. So you would then select student. Important here, hopefully students, you should be using your either iPad or you're signed in through Google already through your school account, because then all you have to do is click on continue with single sign-on. That's the easiest way just to get on there. So next I'm going to jump, because then here is, once we're logged in, it'll take you to this screen. So here you could see, it'll say your student's name. This is our demo screen. So it says, welcome Demo Pacheco. So depending on the grade level of your student, you're going to see a couple of things. So this welcome seniors, right now it's recognizing me as a senior. So this is where we're going to put important information. For example, we had here at South, we had College 101 sessions during PLCs. And so we were encouraging students to come, and we also gave them information about a senior success week that we had September 7th through the 10th. So we do offer our curriculum. You know, I think a lot of parents know that school counselors are there to help in a lot of ways, but we also do have our own curriculum. And this is what we use Naviance for, to implement our curriculum. And so each month, at least for South, we were working with our students. So we've met with our seniors, we've met with our juniors, sophomore, and freshmen. So they're getting a ton of information. So if I would encourage you as a parent or students, talk to your parents, show them what we've done on Naviance already. So you'll get that welcome screen and you'll be able to see what the school counselors are asking students to keep in mind of. Another thing, this is my favorite area. We're going to be looking at this a lot because we do focus a lot on colleges and careers. Another piece that we have here that's really important is the what's new. This is where we will have any of our college reps that come and visit. So if anybody from North Central is coming to visit our school, we will post it here. So we encourage students to sign up for those. These are great opportunities to get information about colleges. We know that sometimes it's not always easy for students to get on campus. So we're making it easy for everybody, and the colleges are actually coming to our school. So that's really nice. So we really encourage all the students to sign up for that. In addition to college reps, we also have career speakers. Miss Ann Lang in the LRC, she's been instrumental in helping us bring in career speakers. So you could see we're going to have a lawyer coming on Wednesday, January 26th. So if your student is thinking of a career in law, would highly encourage them to sign up for this. Again, lots of great resources, and that's what you're going to see all in just this very first page. So I mentioned already that we, as school counselors, we do have our own curriculum. And so with freshman and sophomore year, we do a lot of career exploration. And maybe that sounds a little bit backward because you think, well, shouldn't you talk about colleges so that then they can have a career? Right. But before they get to college, they need to know what major they want to explore or study, excuse me. And then in order to know what major, we need to know the career. So we want to work backwards. So that's really what we focus on for freshman and sophomore. And what's really nice here is at the very top, we do have a self-discovery feature. And this up here, if you click on this, and you can just click on self-discovery, this is where we work with our students, and this is how we help them figure out what career they might be interested in. We have them take these different personality exams or assessments in order to determine what is their personality. Believe it or not, your personality really doesn't change all that much from when you're a high school student to when you're an adult. I've taken this assessment just for fun and I keep getting the same results. So that really doesn't change. In fact, you can see mine based on those results. It gives you more information as to the kind of type of person that you are. I'm an introvert, I'm more sensing. So it's really cool. So it's really nice. And honestly, it's self-discovery. We want students to learn about themselves. What are some challenges? What are my learning strengths? What's going to help me learn? What are some recommendations? Some work and productivity, communication. So lots of really good information that we get just from this assessment. Now, if you see, now there are some recommended careers just based off of my personality. So if we look at these, we could see some of the recommendations for me would be a stock clerk, a postal service, mail carriers, lots here. If we look at all of them, and it even breaks it down by the level of education. So it's going to give us quite a bit of information. So even I know in here, I was just looking at it the other day, school counselor came up somewhere in here too, but lots of really good information. And you can click, and let's say I do want to find out more information about this. It'll give us information in general about this occupation. It'll give us the education, the median national salary, what they do, wages across the nation. I know everybody always wants to know how much money am I going to make, right? And that's fair because students want to know if they're going to be able to support themselves in the future. So lots of really good information just in that one self-discovery homepage here. They can take a career interest profile. It's going to give them some Holland traits, and it'll give them some careers they might be interested in based on their strengths as well. So I highly encourage families to go ahead and jump in here, especially if you're a freshman or a sophomore. If you haven't already done this, maybe you missed one of the days that we students met with the counselors, go ahead and jump in here and take this. Parents, join them. It'll be really good to see what information you get. That's more for freshmen, sophomores. Juniors, seniors, it's totally okay. Maybe you haven't taken yours yet, or maybe you're new to our district. Go ahead and jump on there and take these assessments. This is all to help you. If you have questions about it, go and see your counselor. We'd be happy to walk you through it just to see what your results are and what does it mean and how can you use that information to help you. So that's kind of the freshman, sophomore self-discovery. Now, with juniors and seniors, we really focus on the post-secondary plan and really we're thinking college here. So we go to the, as a junior, we go to the colleges I'm thinking about section. And here is really where one feature I want to point out is the college SuperMatch. So as a junior, let's say now as a junior, we're in December, we're talking about SAT prep, we're talking about colleges, and it could be very overwhelming. Maybe students are like, well, I know I'm going to college, I just don't know where, I don't know how to start looking, it's really overwhelming. That's okay. Naviance is going to help you, because just start thinking about what you want in a school. That's the brainstorming phase. You have to find what a good fit is for you as a student, right? Because potentially you're going to be here for the next 4 years once you graduate high school. And so maybe with your parent or a guardian, you sit down and you think, okay, what is it that I want in a school? And you can start with something as simple as your location. So if you click on location, you can say, well, okay, maybe I want to stay in the Midwest, right? Or I've had some students say, I want to get really far away from Illinois, and that's fine too. With your family, you go ahead and you decide what you want to do. Once you put in location, it's going to narrow down all of the colleges that fit that criteria. And of course, at this point, all of these schools are going to match 100% of what I want, right? We only chose the Midwest, so that's not too much. But maybe we want to look at institutional characteristics. And maybe I'm going to say that I want a very small school only. So I want just schools that are 2,000 or less. That's something you really want to think about as a student. We all hear the big names, the U of I, the Iowas, but you really have to think as a student, what is going to help you learn? Are you the student that's going to be okay going up to a professor in a class of 300 students and asking for help? Or are you the type of student that kind of shies a little bit back and wants the professor to approach them? Those are the types of things that you want to start thinking about. What type of school is going to be good for you? So I would encourage parents and students to go ahead, jump into this college SuperMatch to start narrowing down the schools that would be a good fit for you. And I know I'm coming up short on time here. I recognize that, and I want to respect everybody's time. But those are just a couple of features. As a senior, what we're going to do here, and you can see from the very top, I've selected 2 criteria that matches 164 schools. So that's still a long list. So I would go more and more. Get as picky as you want to be. It's okay. That's what we want you to do. That's junior year. Senior year, then we're going to start going on into the colleges I'm applying to. And everybody, this is how we're sending all of our official school documents. So transcripts, letters of recommendation, everything is in here. It's going to tell you how you're applying. So are you using the Common App, or is it a school specific online application? So lots of really great features for seniors. In addition, the last thing I do want to point out under this About Me section, a couple of things. One, this is for all grade levels. Start creating your resume now. I got to tell you, as a senior in college, when I was graduating, I had not created a resume. It was really embarrassing, had no idea how to start. Here, it puts it in here for you. You type in all of the information and you can quickly export it and print it out. So you'll have a nice resume created for you. Go ahead and start putting your education, any clubs, start adding that now, because if you're a freshman, especially if you come back your senior year and they're going to ask you on the applications what clubs you've been part of, I don't know if you're going to remember everything you've done. So it's a good idea to start doing that now. And the last part, this will also show you the any of your test scores that you have. Now, this is a demo student, so it really wouldn't show me any, but it'll give us all of the test scores. So any PSAT, SAT test that you take will be uploaded on here through our district. So lots of really great features. There's so much more that I can jump into, especially through the colleges. You can see the history of students that have applied from your school, and it shows them, it'll show you the GPA and SAT range, just so much. Parents, if you have any questions, please reach out to the counselors. Please go on there with your students, start exploring those colleges, start saving some of them on the list. You're going to get really great information. But I know I'm short on time, so, and I don't want to take up too much time, but thank you, everybody. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now.
Thank you, Jenny. That was awesome. I love how you show us how to use Naviance from freshman year to senior year. So parents, I hope you took great notes. Students, I hope you're ready and you've been filling in those various aspects. Now we're going to go to our next speaker, just Miss Ann Hennigan, and she's from North Central College. North Central College is our college of choice tonight. So thank you for coming out.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Hi, everybody. My name is Ann Hennigan. I'm a freshman admissions counselor at North Central College, also an alum of the college. I graduated in 2018 with a double major in marketing and management. So when I work with my students, I really try to give them my perspective on everything with graduating pretty recently. So we can get into it. Next slide. So who are we? North Central, we are a private four-year college located in downtown Naperville. So that's something that we really do pride ourselves on is our location. Not only do you have access to downtown Naperville with over 150 different shops and restaurants, we have a 2-mile Riverwalk paved path, but when you start looking for internship and job opportunities, this really opens up a lot of doors for you because North Central is so well known throughout that Naperville community when you do start looking. We also have the metro station located at the end of our campus, so a lot of students will choose to complete an internship or a job opportunity downtown, and it's only about a 30 to 40 minute express train ride down there, or if you simply want to explore, we really like to say we're in the best of both worlds with our location. We have about 3,000 students in total. Oh, do you mind going back? Sorry. We have about 3,000 students in total, 2,700 being undergrad and about 300 graduate, represented by over 40 different states and 40 different countries. One of the main groups on campus that we always love to talk about is our Cardinal First program. 40% of Cardinals on campus are actually first generation college students. So Cardinal First is a nationally recognized as a leader in first generation programming and success. So to be a first generation college student, a student is from a family where a parent has not graduated from a 4-year university. So with Cardinal First, it's a group where you are going to feel supported and welcomed into the community with other first generation college students along with your family. There's also a lot of different opportunities there for you for scholarships, workshops, and leadership and mentorship opportunities as well. About 60% of our students do decide to reside on our campus with 40% commuting. After college, we have 92% of students having a job right out the gates, and then other students will decide to attend grad school. Next. So what do we offer? We have over 90 different undergraduate programs with over 14 graduate programs that you can choose to major with. So we also have 75 different clubs and organizations on our campus, whether it be academic-based, more extracurricular. No matter where you choose to attend college, getting involved is something that we think is vital. We also have over 27 different intercollegiate athletic teams that you can choose to participate in, with 40 national championships under our belt. The two most recent being football. They won the national championship in 2019, as well as women's triathlon. They won the national championship in 2019 as well. When looking into the classroom, 100% of our faculty have their terminal degree or higher. So with that, it really makes the relationship with these professors more of a mentor-mentee versus a professor and student. They're going to know your name, your strengths, your weaknesses. They're going to give you ideas on what students have done in the past or where they've interned, really just helping you build that network so you can feel confident when you graduate that you're exactly where you need to be. The average class size at North Central is about 20 students. The biggest it would be about 25. So again, it's more of an intimate, more personalized learning experience for you that opens that door for the mentor-mentee relationship. The student to faculty ratio is 14:1. And no matter where you decide or what you decide to pursue as your major, you will be studying in state-of-the-art facilities. Next. So what opportunities are available to our students? There's a ton of different opportunities that we can discuss. Just some of the few main important bullet points is that 100% of our students receive financial aid. Within that financial aid, there is merit and talent-based scholarship, but also need-based financial aid that you would receive within your financial aid award letter. There also is opportunity for campus employment. We have students that work in the admissions office, in our athletic facilities, or even fine art facilities. There's a place for everybody on our campus should you decide to pursue an on-campus job. more towards clubs and organizations, we do have an honors program. So you do have to apply to get into our honors program, but there's a live and learn community with dorm opportunities, as well as different scholarships that you can receive as well. I mentioned earlier the different internships that you can receive at North Central. It's very popular for our students to complete those locally or in downtown Chicago, but also opportunity to do undergraduate research. Not a lot of students have that opportunity, and we really want to make sure that you're participating in that. A unique experience that we have is our study abroad. So we do have a full semester study abroad program, but if that's too intimidating for you, we also offer a study abroad in May, which is about a 2.5-week program, but it's the same locations. It's a really great experience, and it's something that we think every student should do if able. We also have a very strong alumni network. So once you graduate, you are going to always feel connected to the college. There's constantly events going on to make sure that you still feel like this place is your home. Next. So what resources are accessible to our students? So we do have an office for student success and our office for financial aid, which you can work with throughout your time at North Central. Should you need extra assistance or you just have any questions, everyone is very willing to help, as well as Dyson Wellness Center, So if you are feeling sick or under the weather, you can go in there day of for a quick checkup. They'll be able to help you out with anything you might need, as well as mental health services. We know the past year or two has been kind of crazy. So if you just want to have a vent session, it's encouraged. It's there for you. We're here to support you. We also have campus safety. Can you go fast? We have campus safety. And I mentioned our Cardinal First program, which is something, like I said, that if you fit in that category, it's something that it goes a long way in your college career, as well as a Premier Scholars program. Next. So what is the admissions process? To apply at North Central, there's 3 different methods on our North Central College website, on the Common App, or Coalition for College Access. So in addition to your application, you will need to submit your official high school transcripts, and we will take a look at your weighted GPA in high school from that transcript. Now, we do have optional information that is up to you if you decide you want to submit, which would be your test scores. We're not requiring you to submit those. However, if you did great, by all means, send them in. We would love to see that, as well as an optional writing sample and letters of recommendation. So once you get accepted to North Central, next steps would be starting the process of financial aid. Right now, the academic scholarships that you can receive upon acceptance from that academic and merit-based is anywhere between $20,000 to $27,000. And what's great about this scholarship is that it actually gets auto-renewed and auto-applied each year as long as you remain a full-time student and in good academic standing. And that is just solely based off of your weighted GPA in high school. So keep pushing. I know it's been a hard year or two, but grades really do matter, and we want to reward you for that. Once that letter is constructed, if you choose to file the FAFSA, that will play into effect determining what will be awarded on your financial aid award letter. Next. So if you haven't already been to our campus, we would strongly encourage you to come and visit us. We have in-person visits, individualized visits, and virtual visits on the weekdays and weekends. So whatever you think works best for you or whatever you're most comfortable with, upon that visit, you will meet with your admissions counselor. So you'll meet with me. It'll be nice to see you guys in person. And then you go on a tour of campus with the current student. And if you guys have any interest in sports or a specific major, we can also coordinate for you to meet with a coach or meet with a professor to get a deep dive in what it's like to be a student athlete or to be a marketing major on campus. So we really want to make sure that you get that full immersive experience. We are having a visit day on January 17th that you can sign up for. There will be a financial aid presentation, another admissions presentation, and then tours on campus as well. Next. So that's North Central in a nutshell. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to me, or you can reach out to our Office of Admissions with our contact information below. Thank you.
Thank you, Anne. That was awesome.
Thanks.
We appreciate you taking time out with us today. Now, parents, we're going to open up the chat room to see if you have any questions. We have our panelists here who are ready to answer any questions that you may have. Okay, yes, Jed, can you send the QR code again from the beginning? Yes, I'll send it shortly. Okay, here we go. This is from Casey Ty. Do you happen to know what the income thresholds are to be eligible for financial aid? That's for you, Marina.
Hi, so there is no like set income threshold to know if you're eligible or not, because there's a lot of different factors in that consideration, including like investments, if you have like a 529 for your students. So I would recommend going to the US Department of Education's financial aid estimator. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes, and you can get sort of a good idea of what to expect from your financial aid package. But it is a graduation requirement to fill out a FAFSA or some sort of financial aid form. So I definitely would recommend doing it either way.
Thank you, Marina. Also, Sean Covey, he in the chat, parents, he has some information about the financial aid estimator. Our next question. If you apply for financial aid, can you accept or decline any portion of the reward?
Yes, you are totally free to decline it. I know a lot of people don't want to take out all the loans, so definitely you are able to decline and accept whatever you get.
Parents and students, please feel free to ask questions. We have our school counselor here. We have a college representative here. And of course, we have our representative from the state of Illinois regarding financial aid. Okay, here's another question. What is the estimated date that grants will run out of money this year?
So there is no estimated date yet, unless Sean knows something. But I know that last year they ran out in August. No, okay. Yes. So last year they ran out in August, like right around the time the students were actually starting school. So yeah, I would just try to get it done as soon as possible after October 1st, and definitely before graduation if you can.
What do colleges look for in a student's record to award academic scholarships? That's for you, Anne.
Yeah, so with academic scholarship, I would say that connects most to our academic and merit-based scholarship from your weighted GPA in high school. So as I mentioned, just keep pushing along with your grades, because that can make a huge difference in how much money you can receive. This year, like I said, it ranges anywhere between $20,000 to $27,000, and that gets auto-renewed and auto-applied each year as long as you're a full-time student and in good academic standing. So it's not divided throughout your course of time at North Central. I know that some people get confused with that, but it's a really great scholarship just from the hard work that you have completed in high school. And that's the main one that we do see coming from your application. It's applied immediately once you get accepted.
I do see another question here in the Q&A section. Are there any scholarship geared towards juniors?
So at North Central, I don't know any off the top of my head that are geared towards juniors. I, again, think that just connects with making sure as a junior, you're maintaining your grades, you're doing the best that you can do, because that big scholarship you get from high school from us is the academic and merit from your weighted GPA.
And as a school counselor, I would say a Naviance, again, I'm going to point students towards Naviance and families towards Naviance. We do have a list. I wasn't able to show you, but there is a list of scholarships that we put on there. And those scholarships are going to vary. So some are going to be like local. So your Illinois chapter of some organization, or they can be huge scholarships like the Coca-Cola scholarship that's national. So it really is going to take some time for families to go through each individual scholarship to determine eligibility and if juniors or seniors, if who qualifies juniors or seniors. But we would encourage you to look on Naviance as well. But I'm pretty sure there are some scholarships somewhere out there that are where juniors are eligible.
Thank you, Jenny and Ann. We have about 3 more questions. Another question is, does North Central do test optional?
Yes, so North Central College is actually permanently test optional. I think that answers the second one, asking if it will extend. So that's been a permanent decision. So if you feel like your test scores do not represent you as a student, you would select your test optional or our test optional application, and we would just take a look at your weighted GPA from high school, as well as any supplemental and materials that you would decide to submit, whether that be a writing sample, letters of recommendation, anything along those lines we would consider as well.
Thank you. Our next question is, how are the students getting immediate help if necessary? My child was told she needed an appointment. The availability for an appointment was the following week.
I'm not sure who that's geared towards, but as a counselor, I can tell you at South, what we're doing this year is to empower students to become independent. We created a QR code that links them to our calendars. So, we're just trying to help students become more independent. Similarly, like when they're off and becoming adults, once they hit 18, they're going to make their own doctor's appointments, dentist appointments. So we are giving students the opportunity to make an appointment with us using the QR code. However, and those are limited, right? But it still doesn't change. They can still come into the guidance office, ask one of our secretaries, and they will get an appointment for them. There are times where things are a little bit crazy in our offices, but usually it shouldn't take more than a week. So if you're having trouble, have your student, or you can reach out to the individual counselor and say, hey, it's an urgent matter. Can we get you in? And absolutely, that's something that we can do right away.
Thank you, Ms. Pacheco. And I do know as well that in a lot of the buildings, the students have to make appointments first, and the counselors will get to them as soon as they can. Our next question is, what is considered a good weighted GPA for merit scholarships?
Sure. So we offer scholarships based off of GPA from a wide range. They go from anywhere between below a 3.0, you can potentially receive one of the base scholarships, or even above a 3.0. I wouldn't really say there's a good GPA because there's a lot of different factors that we take a look at when we do a holistic review of your application. The general median GPA that we do see on applications to North Central College from that weighted GPA are between a 3.3, 4, 5 range is kind of the general GPA that we do see. However, if it's higher or if it's a little bit lower, that is still okay too. And like I said, if you are accepted, no matter your GPA, you will receive a scholarship starting from that $20,000, potentially up to that 27.
Thank you, Ann. Will students who do not send a test score qualify for scholarships at North Central?
Yes, just because to apply to North Central, your transcripts are required. So that's where we take a look at that GPA. If you decide to be test optional, that's still giving us your GPA. So you will receive a scholarship, whether you choose to submit your test scores or not. Submitting your test scores does not give you more of a scholarship. It's solely based off of that GPA.
Thank you. Our next question. This is for each panelist. What do you think is the biggest mistake a parent makes around college planning? So we'll go with Jenny first, Ms. Pacheco first.
Oh, I don't want to call them mistakes. I just feel like mistakes has such a negative connotation, right? Or I think if there's some advice is it's never too early to get started. I know we talk about, we focus on career exploration as freshmen. It's okay to get freshmen on a campus. That's the best way to kind of determine what feels good for them. Take them to North Central and see how they feel being in downtown Naperville and having that atmosphere around them. It's a beautiful campus. And then take them to a different school so that they can start comparing. I know a lot of families will go throughout, like anytime they take a vacation or a road trip, they start to kind of map out different colleges that are in the area. And so just walking around the campus is always a good idea. So I think if there's a tip that I could provide would be it's never too early to get started. Even middle school, just get them on campus. I think that would be a good idea.
Thank you, Jenny. Ann.
Yeah. The biggest mistake I would say is being afraid to ask questions, right? Like, we're here to be your advocate. We're here to guide you throughout this process. We don't want you to feel like you're lost. We want to make sure that we make this as smooth as possible. So just feeling comfortable with your counselor, asking those uncomfortable questions, just because we have been asked them probably over 100 times before, and we have a path set for you and a method that's like, hey, that's totally okay. We've dealt with this before. This is what we're going to do to help ease any of those anxieties that you might feel while trying to get your student set up for college, because that's a huge step in life. We understand that that's tough. So just not asking questions when you think you should, I think would be my biggest.
Thank you, Anne. Marina or Sean, what do you think is the biggest mistake that parents make?
So I guess something I see a lot is a lot of parents who get involved sort of towards the end of the college process or towards the senior year. And I think like Jennifer said, and like Anne said, like getting involved early, asking questions, that's really helpful. I noticed that a lot of those parents who are involved early in asking questions have a lot less stress and anxiety over, throughout the whole process. And that just makes everything a lot smoother when they're communicating with, institutions or with us doing financial aid. And so I would just get interested now, start looking at the websites, no matter what grade level your student is in, and just trying to get comfortable with the process and do research.
Thank you, Marina. Is FAFSA a new graduation requirement for all students?
Yes. Well, yes and no. So yes, it is all students. It is a graduation requirement. However, if for whatever reason the family is choosing not to fill out the FAFSA, there is a waiver. And so I would encourage your student, and you can talk as a parent, can speak to the counselor to discuss the different options. Certainly, I believe that if perhaps the family feels that they wouldn't qualify, or maybe there might be some fear based on citizenship status, please speak with your counselor. Everything that we discuss is confidential. We're here to help you. We're your advocates. We team with the family. Like we are team, all about helping the student, and we certainly feel as though we are part of the same team. But generally speaking, yes, the FAFSA is a graduation requirement. This is the second year now that we've done that. But if for some extenuating circumstances you can't fill it out, or please speak to your counselor, and we can talk to you about what your options are.
Thank you, Ms. Pacheco. And we have another question. Are honors classes viewed as the same as AP classes in terms of college acceptance?
Sure. So when we do take a look at your application, we will take a look at honors and AP courses should you have taken any in high school. Now with AP credit, it would be granted in the appropriate department or particular course if you receive a score of a 4 or a 5. So then you can potentially not have to take certain courses at North Central, but we also will set you up with an academic advisor that will have access to see if you do not need to take XYZ for classes, which is kind of a next step post deciding where you want to go and looking at that application. So there's a few steps within the AP, but we will take a look at both looking at your application.
Thank you.
I maybe just one thing I want to point out, something that Glenbard, we run off of a 5.0 scale. And as you're looking at colleges, and maybe you're looking at whether or not you qualify for any scholarship, just keep in mind that we run on a 5.0 scale. And I think generally speaking, and maybe you can speak to this, anything that's listed on the website will be out of a 4.0 scale. So that's just something to keep in mind. And kind of, Anne, would you say this is a general rule? We would say subtract 1 from the student's GPA just to see kind of what the conversion would be. I know that there are some calculators out there in the internet that says we'll calculate your GPA for you. Just subtract 1 is the easiest way to do it.
Yeah, totally agree.
Okay, thank you. Parents, if you have any more questions, please keep them coming. I'm going to go back to the slide where you can scan so that you can get your student registered for our SAT. And while I'm doing that, then I'm also going to mention an event, for our Glenbard Parent Series, an event that we have coming up. All right, here we go. So parents, here's your barcodes to scan to register your student at your specific school. I would like to remind you to put this on your calendar. January 12th, Wednesday, January 12th at 7 p.m. Our Glenbard Parent Series will have Dr. Goldie Muhammad to come and speak to you about cultivating genius and joy. Again, Wednesday, January 12th, we have Dr. Goldie Muhammad coming to speak to you about cultivating genius and joy. So please mark your calendars, look at the newsletters that are sent from your school, the newsletters that are sent from the district as well, and please be there on Zoom. We'll really appreciate it. Okay, let's see if we have any more questions. I am going to stop sharing. I'll give it 2 more minutes. Jenny, do you see any questions?
Yes. So there's a question about going off of what was just said about the 5.0 GPA scale at Glenbard. If a student has a 5.0 GPA at Glenbard, then the college would consider that a 4.0. I would say yes. And what would you say from the college side?
Yes, we would consider that a 4, just because it is out of the weighted 4 scale for us. But you would still fall then on the higher end of the academic and merit-based scholarships. So that's really nothing that you have to stress about, just because we do have a GPA calculator that our system runs to make sure that it's treated fairly.
Thank you. Are there any more questions, Jenny?
Nope. Just lots of thank yous. Thank you, everybody, for being with us. We appreciate you taking the time.
Yes, thank you so much, parents and students. And I would like to personally thank our panelists, Ms. Jennifer Pacheco from Glenbard South, counselor, Ms. Ann Hennigan from North Central College out in Naperville, and Ms. Marina Pasquale from Illinois Student Association Commission. Thank you. Illinois Student Assistance Commission. Thank you. We appreciate you all for coming out tonight. And if you need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at your child's school. Thank you. Goodbye.